Hello everybody, this is Terri Beadle and this is going to be my project for EDT 629. Let's start off by explaining a little bit about myself. So that's a picture of me just before I was about to go out and have fun, of course. That's always the best thing to do, right? I am currently the mother of a cat named Kitty and a boxer named Bryant and no other children. I am also a teacher in the Celsus department at Western Michigan University. Celsus is a department that does English as a second language for students who have been accepted to the university pending they pass our classes. I have a lot of international students that I work with from all over the world. And prior to working at Celsus, I worked for ELS, which is the Grand Valley's version of Celsus. As you can see from all the pictures, we tend to have a lot of fun in class. We go places. We get to see everybody. I have a decent amount of girls in most of my classes. Majority are boys, but there are some girls. Now, for this online component to my reading and writing class, which I'm going to implement next semester, I'm going to be emailing weekly assignments. There are different studies out there that have shown that using internet, using online components with ESL classes actually do help the students understand things. Now, in order for our students to understand what they're supposed to be learning, we do have some benchmarks and some rubrics that they do need to pass in order to graduate from our program. The class that I will be teaching is an intermediate reading and writing class. In this intermediate reading and writing class, at the end of the semester, the students should be able to read and comprehend texts. They read simplified text, which are about equivalent of maybe 4th, 5th grade text or so. They need to be able to understand them. They need to be able to tell me and regurgitate the information, but also be able to use their brain to give me some thoughts, give me some previews, give me some information that is not in the written word. They also have to be able to write some academic papers. We do need to have a 2 to 3 page research paper that includes a thesis statement and limited topics and definition of organization. The papers need to be organized, and there does need to be transitional information in between everything. What we're going to do in order to help with this is I'm going to have 2 or 3 different assignments which will give the students an opportunity to work with each other and do some peer feedback. Using the peer feedback forms that I will create this winter, the students will be able to let them know what their papers are about. They will be using email to communicate with each other as opposed to face-to-face in class. By using the email, it will help them to be able to understand what the other person is saying, because unfortunately at an intermediate level, their vocabulary and their clarity of speech is not necessarily the best in the world. So they will be using email to talk with each other, to be able to look at the papers. That way, all of the papers will be digital also, either done in Word or Pages or something to that effect. In order for the students to be able to use that, all of the computers that we have on campus are Word computers. So we will be in a weekly computer lab so that they'll be able to work on their papers in Word, email them by Friday to their peer evaluator, and then their peer evaluator will have the weekend to be able to read them and make comments. The second thing that they're going to be doing are journals, weekly online journals. These weekly online journals that they are going to be writing are going to just be that, free writing journals. They can talk about how much they hate me. They can talk about how much they hate other teachers. They can talk about how much fun they're having in class, or that they're learning, or that they are, what they're doing in American culture, what they're doing to learn more about American culture, what cities they've been to, where they went for the weekend, which bar they attended. It doesn't matter, just as long as they are freely writing. And I will be very strict on this to make sure that they are writing in English and not translating. Unfortunately, one of the biggest problems that we have is that the students do tend to write in their native language, then translate that whole text into English. And if anybody has ever taught an ESL class before, or has ever tried to do the translation thing, it really doesn't work. And so it's obvious when they do that. So the one requirement I will have is that they will have to do this. Then everybody will be turning in their papers through our online e-learning website, which we use Desire to Learn. And within that, they do have a Dropbox component. And so all papers, all reading, comprehension test, or online quizzes, or anything else that I might assign will be handed in through Dropbox. And one of the best things about Dropbox is that it works with all computers, and it works with iPhones as well as iPads. So you can still use Dropbox if you're using a Mac computer or something like that. With Dropbox, what's really nice is a lot of my students tend to use their phones and their iPads to do a lot of their assignments. So with Dropbox being user-friendly on all components, it is something that everybody can use and will get away with it. Now, this is just a short, small component that I'm going to be implementing into my next class, which will not start until the middle of next semester. But if I can do very well with this, what I'm hoping to do is to be able to talk to some of the tenured faculty who have been here for a while and show them that it's not a bad thing to be able to use online components to your class. That does not mean that you have to do a full online class. That just means certain components to your class. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great holiday.